use a strap today, an exercise strap or a scarf or a yoga strap or a long towel. We'll use a chair. It needs to be a firm chair and just some padding. It can be a pillow, blanket, towels. All right. And we'll start with our knees bent on our backs. And as you do that, as you come down onto your back with your knees bent, maybe take a sigh here. And notice how it feels to be on your back. Sometimes just that alone can start to lower the stress response in our bodies. So as we, practice yoga week after week or day after day, even if it's just for a few minutes each day, you begin to become more self-aware and more attuned to small changes in your nervous system as well as your body. And it's different every day, right? So you might feel one way one day and totally different the next doing the same thing. So what you're looking for here is there even just a slight change in how you feel as you lay down. Good. And then begin to notice all 10 of your toes and the balls of your feet and the heels of your feet. Notice your knees, your hips, and where you're making contact with the floor with your hips and your back, your arms, and your hands. Your shoulders, your neck, and your head. And then you might begin to breathe a little bigger or a little wider on the inhale. You could always put your hands on your lower ribs and feel that umbrella breath expanding on the inhale. And then you can do a long exhale here, blowing out like you're blowing out through a straw slowly. And then just repeating that. So this focus on the exhale tends to down-regulate the nervous system. And you can either stay breathing like that, or you could close your mouth and just breathe in and out through your nose. And see if you can still lengthen the exhale. You could also use your ocean breath where you can hear the sound in the back of your throat. May help you to extend the exhale. And now we're going to try to stay with this type of breathing as we move. So we'll just inhale and stretch your arms out to your sides from your shoulders. And as you exhale, let's begin to windshield wiper the knees slowly side to side as you roll over the feet here. Good. And now let's come back up to the center and inhale to reach your arms up and overhead. As you exhale, let's bring the right knee in and catch it with your hands. You could hold above or below the knee, and you could have the left leg straight or bent. And then we'll use the right hand to make circles with your knee and hip. And just allow your breath to be continuous here. And then reversing directions with your knee and hip. Good. And then let's bring that knee into center. And you may want to bend your left knee and put your foot on the floor here. We're going to hold behind the leg, either with your hands, or you could also take your strap and just double it up behind the leg. It might make it more relaxed for you. And inhale, stretch the leg up towards straight, and then exhale, bend, and repeat. Good, and then the next time you get that up there, straight or straight-ish, let's leave it there. Try to relax through your shoulders and breathe calmly. So the same kind of breathing we were doing before, as you start to roll your ankle very slowly. Taking it through its full range of motion. And then reverse direction. Good. And then just leave the ankle relaxed now. And you can use just your right hand behind the leg here, or you could use your strap and hold it behind the right leg. And what we're going to do is you might be able to rest your right arm, your right elbow on the floor, even as you hold the strap or leg. We're just going to inhale, take the leg out to the right, and then exhale as you bring it back up. Okay, and you can repeat. So as I do this, I'm using the strap and I'm letting my elbow come to the floor and I'm opening it up and bringing it back. And I'm using my exhale to come back. You could also do this without the strap and just prop with your hand. Good. And now the next time you open, let's leave it there. And you can, again, rest your elbow to support so you're not straining in your hand. And just notice if you're getting a stretch at all anywhere in your leg, in your thigh or your groin, or maybe your hamstring. Good. One more breath. Good. And now begin your exhale first, and then engage your abdominals to bring that leg back up to center. Good. And now let's bend the knee. Take the foot to the floor, and you can set your strap aside if you're using it. Let's straighten out the left leg on the floor. Left leg on the floor, right knee bent. And then just exhale and let the knee fall out to the side like you're doing a tree pose on the floor. And then inhale, bring it back up. And repeat. Feel yourself rolling over your foot here. Good. And then coming back up to center, let's straighten the leg out so both are straight on the floor, and just notice the two sides. Following your breath in and out. And then let's inhale, reaching the arms up and over the head. And exhale, bringing the left knee in and catching it. Now you could always have the right knee bent if you wanted, okay? I'm gonna use the left hand to start to make circles with the left knee and hip. And letting your breath flow here. And then reversing the direction with your knee and hip. Good. And now coming back to the center with the knee, you might want to bend the right leg if you haven't already. We're going to hold behind the left with your hands or a strap and inhale as you stretch it up toward the ceiling and exhale as you bend and repeat. Good. Now, next time you get it up there, let's leave it there. And we'll just make some very slow circles with the ankle. And see if you can go through your full range of motion. You're really pulling those toes toward the shin. You're inverting the ankle. You're pointing the ankle, and then you're everting the ankle. And then reverse that direction. Keep breathing. Good. All right, then you just relax the ankle, and you can use either your left hand or your strap, and you're holding it in your left hand behind the thigh. And we'll inhale and take the left leg out to the left. You might want to rest your left elbow on the floor as you do this. And then exhale, bring it back up. Good, and repeat. And then you can hold it out there if you'd like. Just trying to find, where are you feeling a stretch here? Good. And then beginning your exhale and then bringing the leg back up to the center. Good. And then bending your knee, placing your foot on the floor. You can get rid of the strap if you're using it. Let's straighten out the right leg on the floor. And then inhale as you open the left knee, like tree pose, and exhale as you bring the leg back up and repeat. And you're rolling onto the pinky edge of your foot as you're doing this. One more. You can stay there if you want. I can't remember if we held on the other side, but you can hold the pose. Take a breath or two. And then bringing it back up and straightening out the legs on the floor, noticing. I'm just noticing the changes in sensations, any changes in how you feel mentally or emotionally as you move through your practice at any time, and how your breath feels. All right, let's bend the knees again. And we're going to take the feet just a little bit wider than the hips. And then can you lift the toes off the floor without lifting the balls of the feet off the floor? So keeping the balls of the feet down, just the toes lift. Okay, and keep breathing, of course, okay? You can just relax your arms out to the sides. And we're gonna do kind of the opposite of windshield wipers. Instead of going to the same side with the knees, we're just gonna open the knees, rolling onto the pinky toe edges of the feet, and almost like a butterfly pose, but the feet are apart. And then bring them up and rock to the big toe side, and you won't be able to go very far. The knees will tap. And then repeat. So you're inhaling as you open and exhaling as you close, like you're going knock-kneed. And as you do this, you guys, can you keep your toes lifting off the floor? So you're keeping the feet engaged and keeping the ankles strong. Good. Now, next time you come up, what we're going to do, and you might need to widen the feet just a little bit again. You don't have to keep lifting the toes now. You can relax the toes down. And now we're just going to let the left knee drop inward. So it's like a half a windshield wiper, just the left knee is dropping in. Good. And then bring it back up. And now let the other knee, the right knee. I realized I'm doing opposite of what I'm saying, but it doesn't matter. You're just doing each side. And when you drop the knee in, you're touching the other leg, widen the feet so you don't. And just notice how this is an internal rotation of the hip. You're just kind of noticing how that feels. So far we've done some flexion of the hip. We've done rotation, so taking it through a lot of the movements of the hip. And we've done that abduction where we took it out to the side. And we're doing an internal rotation. Good. And now let's come back up to the center and walk the feet a little bit closer. And now we're going to do an external rotation of the hips. So inhale, reach the right leg up. And exhale, let's cross the right ankle over the left thigh and take the knee out to the side. Yeah, so the figure four stretch. Now you might feel something or nothing when you have it like this, right? So to feel more, you could put your left foot on a chair or the wall, or you could simply lift it off the floor and hold behind the left thigh with your hands, sticking the right hand in the little figure four hole you've made between your legs. Okay, so any of those options are fine. And you might mainly feel a stretch across your right buttock or hip, but a lot of people feel it on the inside too if they're tight, or even their hamstrings. Okay, one more breath here. You're just kind of testing out all these positions. We can stretch and strengthen these positions in many different ways. So we're just doing some passive stretches on our back. Okay, and then let's release. Good. And you can shake out the right leg as you take it off and bring it down to the floor. And then we'll inhale, cross the left ankle over the right thigh. And then you could press the left knee out to the side and just see if it's appropriate for you to stay here, or if you want to go into one of the other variations. Trying to relax through your jaw and your face. Taking a few breaths there. Good, and now we'll release that, coming down. You can shake out the left leg. Good, and then just put that foot down. We're gonna set up for a bridge pose, so we'll move anything big from behind the head. And in bridge pose, we go into hip extension, okay? And so we're gonna place the feet about hips distance apart, and you can decide how close to your butt you want them. Arms relaxed somewhere at your sides, moving shoulder blades down your back. And inhale as you press down strongly into your feet and lift the hips up, squeezing the glutes. And then exhale, lower it back down. And let's just do that 2 more times. Pressing into the feet strongly and engaging your glute muscles. Good, and then pause as you come down. Take a breath. Okay, now let's try to hold it. Okay, so we'll inhale, lift, and hold, sinking your front ribs towards your back ribs and trying to engage your core muscles around your abdomen, those core muscles, your glute muscles, and pressing into the balls of the big toes, keeping the whole foot on the floor. We're just going to focus on really pressing down at below the big toe joints. Let's see if you can stay 2 more breaths here. And 1 more breath. Good, and then exhale as you slowly come on down. And you can draw your knees in towards your belly, so more hip flexion here. And you might make circles on your low back or rock side to side. You could also exhale and curl up into a little ball. And inhale, lower. And exhale, let's take the feet back down to the floor and straighten out the legs. Okay. I'm going to inhale and reach your arms overhead. And exhale, could you start to take one arm across so that, and push into your opposite foot a little bit, or the same foot that you're reaching the arm across, to roll onto your belly. And then scoot yourself, if you're using a mat, you can scoot yourself back onto your mat. And we'll come down. So say you have, when you go into this pose face down, that you get ankle pain or your feet cramp up. What you can do is you can take your blanket or a pillow and you can just put it at the fronts of the ankles. And this can really help if you're one of those people. Okay, so you just kind of set it right there. And then let's come down onto our forehead here. And once you do that, just take a few breaths here, relaxing your neck. So if you have to turn your head a different way to relax your neck, feel free to do that. And now let's just feel your breath against the floor below you. So as you inhale, can you feel your belly expand? And then you could take a sigh or make your exhale long. And then again. One more. All right, and now you can continue to have your head like it is or adjust it if you need to. All I'm going to do is tighten all of the muscles of one leg. So I'm just going to tighten those muscles, and I'm also going to press my pubic bone down. And then exhale, release it. And then tighten all the muscles and the glute on the other side and release. And repeat, just switching side to side. Good. Okay, now we're going to go into some hip extension. And to do this, we'll be first inhaling as you press the pubic bone down, exhaling as you engage all the muscles of one leg and lift that leg a little bit. And then inhale, come back down, and let's stay with the same leg. So you're going to exhale, lift it, and inhale, come back down. Now it's a very small movement, because if you were to lift this leg high up like this, you would go into your low back. You'd be using low back muscles. And we're trying to just use the hip and leg muscles. Okay? A few more. If you find yourself going into your low back anyway because of chronic low back stuff, you might just want to practice tightening the muscles without lifting. Okay, and then come down, kind of wiggle, wiggle, wiggle your hips or your leg, and let's do the other side. Okay, so we'll inhale, press the pubic bone down, engage the muscles, exhale, lift, inhale, lower, and try to keep the leg very straight. You're probably going to want to bend it to try to get it higher up, and not even consciously, it just kind of happens. So feel like you're trying to reach your toes toward the wall behind you as you lift. And try to relax through your jaw and your neck. One more. Good. And then just wiggle your butt, your hips, your legs. Okay. Now we're going to use the upper body. And so we're going to keep the legs down. And when we're using our upper body, we are strengthening our back muscles, and also we're using our glutes, okay? So what we're gonna do is stretch the arms along your sides, down by your hips and legs, and then bring your forehead to the floor by tucking your chin so you don't smash your nose, okay? And then inhale, can you press your pubic bone to the floor so your glutes turn on? And then exhale, can you lift a little bit through your torso and arms? And exhale, lower. So in this one, we lift on the inhale. Your palms are facing down. I don't know if I mentioned that. Palms are facing the floor. And you don't want to feel any low back pain here either. It's a very small movement, and your nose is facing the floor. You're not sending your chin forward. One more. And maybe you hold it for a breath. Keep engaging those glutes. Good, and then come down, and you can pad your forehead again and just wiggle the hips. In fact, let's bend the knees and let the lower legs fall side to side like an upside down windshield wipers here. Good, and then come back to center, straightening out the legs. And now you can choose to do one or the other, the legs alternating, both legs, your torso with the arms, or if you'd like to, you can try all of them together, okay? That's what I'm going to show here. So I'm going to reach my arms back. I'm going to inhale, press my pubic bone down, engaging my glutes. Exhaling here, tightening my legs, and I'm going to inhale, lift up, and I'm going to try to hold it. It's like a superwoman or man pose, making sure you have no back pain as you're doing this. Breathing. And release, coming down, and you can wiggle, waggle the hips or windshield wiper, the knees side to side or the feet. Good. Good. Okay, now from here, let's inhale to Sphinx pose. You prop up on your forearms, or you could be wide with elbows out like this. Okay. Again, engage your glutes. Inhale, can you feel like you're spreading across your collarbones? And exhale, let's bring your left knee forward like a half, it's called half frog. So when I bring my left knee forward, I'm also going to move my left foot out so my ankle is straight back from my knee. And my foot is on the big toe side of the foot, and I'm pulling the toes up a little bit like we did when we were on our backs. Good. And then I'm going to press the inside of my left knee into the floor so I start to feel some sensation on my inner thigh. And now you can either stay up in Sphinx pose or you could come down with your forehead onto your hands and breathe. Okay, and then slowly just start to straighten the leg back out next to the other leg. Then inhale back to Sphinx pose. And exhale, let's bring the right knee forward, straight out from the hip on the right. And then adjust the foot. So the big toe side of the foot is pressing into the floor. And the inner knee is pressing into the floor. And if you get a hip cramp, just kind of work it out for yourself. Good. So you start to feel some inner thigh or groin area stretch, perhaps. And you can stay up here in this Sphinx half frog, or you can come down with your torso and head, and breathe here. Long, slow breaths. Good. And then slowly bringing that leg back. Let's inhale up to Sphinx pose. Good. And then exhale. Just going to crawl your left knee kind of out to the side and then forward, and then your right knee underneath you. So you've got both knees on the floor now. Good. And we're going to tuck our toes underneath behind you. And you can always pad your knees here. Now, we talked about this earlier before we started recording, but just if you've got knee issues or knee pain, you might want to take either your mat. I really like using the mat, but I've also got this really thick blanket. So you can put that in the joint space behind your knee. You kind of get it right in there. And then you can put pressure back into your feet. So you get even the little toes tucked underneath your feet. Now, you could come all the way up for those that can tolerate it. For me, the mat works so much better. I'm going to grab it. Or you might not be able to tolerate that coming up either because of knee issues or because of foot issues. Yeah, the mat is way better for this for me. But you could come up here, right? But if you notice you're getting knee pain when you come up, or just it's too excruciating on the feet, then you can work here and just kind of press back this way. Good, a couple breaths there. Good, and then coming forward, let's place the tops of the feet on the ground and just tap, tap, tap them out here. And then we're going to use your hands and your feet to press up onto your feet, and we'll stand all the way up. Rising up, reaching the arms up. And exhale, arms out to the sides. And down. Good. Let's do that again. Inhale, let's reach it up. And exhale. Good. And then taking the feet about shoulders distance apart, arms just relax downward. Inhale, stand tall. And exhale as a side bend, letting your hands slide down the leg, whatever amount feels good, feels okay in your back. And as you do this, feeling the texture of your clothing or your skin. And feeling your feet on the floor. Good. And then coming up to the center, we're just going to put a little softness in the knees and hula hoop your hips around. Good. And then go the other way. Good. And then coming back to the center, let's walk the feet a little closer together. Let the arms rest downward, and you could close your eyes if you want to. And notice your experience in your body right now. Feel your breath come in, expanding your rib cage three-dimensionally. And a long exhale. And again. Good. And then with eyes open, we're going to inhale and reach one arm up high. And then exhale, switch. Reach the other arm up high. Good. And continue. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. Keep going. Good. And we're just losing a little bit of service here. I'm going to try to connect a different way. Good. And then from here, you can just bring in a swing and a twist.
Recording in progress.
Good. Okay. All right. You can swing and twist here. Yeah, for some reason we lost service for a moment and it's back. There you go. Good. And then just coming to a point of not twisting, just coming back to center. And we'll do a few bounces, just allowing the heels to lift and lower and the knees to soften. And you can, if you want to, you can stay in contact with the floor the whole time, or you can take little tiny bounces or lift-offs off the floor. Good. And then pause. Notice how you feel when you pause, how it feels through your feet and your legs. Good. And then let's get our chairs and take the seat in front of you. Good. I'm going to stand a little bit back from the seat and inhale as you reach your arms up. And then exhale, hinging at your hips and fold. Now we're going to put no weight on the hands, just to hold yourself here, okay? And now we'll put a little bend in your knees and draw the toes upward. So just like we did on our backs, and you might need to widen the feet like we did on our backs, okay? And we're going to roll onto the pinky toe edges and then onto the big toe edges. So exactly, but in a different position as we did on our backs. Okay, and you're trying to keep your ankles stable here. It's a wobbly cowboy pose. Kind of going through bow-legged and knock-kneed. Noticing how this feels through your hips and also relaxing your neck. So instead of sending your chin forward and looking forward like this, you're looking down at your seat or even your ankles. Good. And then coming through the center here, inhale, let's reach your spine forward, send your tail upward. And then exhale, bend the knees like you're sitting in a chair behind you. And then inhale to rise. And exhale, bringing your arms out to the sides and down. Good. Now let's keep the chair seat on the same side of you. Just turn so it's at your side. Okay. And then we'll inhale, stand tall. And exhale, bring the knee that's closest to the chair, bring that upward. Hip flexion. Good. Inhale. Now exhale, can you take that hip out to the side and then rest the foot on the chair? Good. And then just adjust however you need to. Okay. Nice. And now what I'm going to do is try to walk my bottom leg out a little bit, just the amount that you feel comfortable with. Okay. And then I'm going to exhale, and if this all feels okay in the hips, meaning there's no pain in the hips when you do this, I'm opening up this knee. And then I'm going to rest my forearm on the thigh and reach my back arm up along the ear. Good. And just let your neck relax and breathe. Feel that bottom foot, both feet. Good. And now on your exhale, can you press into the front foot, the one on the chair, and just stand upright? Good. We're going to keep the leg wide if that feels okay. And this time we'll look a little bit at this knee as you bend it more and come up. And what I want you to feel for here is that there's no knee pain. Okay, so you're not bending it so much you have any knee pain. You might find you need to adjust where the bottom leg is, kind of coming in and out. You might want to go wider with it or closer. And your belly, and it looks like you guys at home are doing this, is turned away from the knee. Good. And then just come back to the more upright position. We're going to walk this foot a little closer again. Okay. Inhale here. And if it feels all right to you, you might exhale, taking that hand that's closest to the leg down in front of the foot or on the inside of the foot. Okay, so you don't want any back pain and you don't want any pain, just stretching, okay? And then inhale here. Some of you might like to round the back and take both arms down. So I've got both arms on the inside. I'm just letting my elbows bend and be soft. I'm letting my back round and letting my neck relax here. Good. Good. And now let's slowly exhale as you start to lift up. Now, first bringing the arm back to the thigh and then lifting yourself up. And then inhale, standing up tall. And we're going to see if we can exhale and float this foot off the chair and hold it. So inhale and then exhale. And maybe you can bring the knee forward and then down. And just stand for a moment, noticing the two legs and hips, standing tall, following your breath in and out. Good. All right, now let's try the other side. So we'll bring your chair around to the other side. Good. And then once you get settled there, just inhale, stand tall. And exhale, we're going to try to lift that inside knee up. So any kind of balancing on one leg is very strengthening for your ankle and your hip. Okay, for that whole lower body. So even if it feels wobbly or you have to have a toe down for support, it's worth working on it for sure. Okay, and inhale here and exhale. See if you can take it out to the side and then place it down. And just see how this feels through the hip, right? You don't want any pain. Good. And then if it feels okay, you could start to walk the outer foot out. Good. Inhale, and just find a spot that feels doable for you. We're going to rest the forearm on the thigh. And then if you want to, you can bring the arm along the ear. If you start to get hip cramps, you just kind of come in and out of it. Often that'll happen. Good. One more breath. And then exhale as you press into the bottom foot and come up. Now you could go wider or less wide. In this one, we're doing our little bit of sinking, and you can look at your knee and your foot as you do this, making sure you stay out of knee pain. And as you're looking at the knee and foot, you're really just turning the head. So you're trying to keep the belly to the side, just so we get more into this inner thigh area rather than the straight hip flexion. Okay. Good. And then we'll come back up and walk this foot probably a little closer, a lot closer. Inhale. And exhale, you can see if it works for you to bring a hand down in front of the foot or in the inside of the foot, or both hands down. Relaxing the neck. Breathing. And then to come out, you just slowly begin to bring that inside arm back up to the thigh. Turning to that side. And then exhale, lift. And we'll try to lift and hold. We'll inhale here and exhale. See if you can lift it off and hold. And then maybe bring it forward and down. Good. And then you might want to hula hoop a little bit. Good. All right. Last thing that we're going to do standing is we'll need the back of the chair or a wall. Either one will work. Okay. So you can bring it back to your first side. Okay, and what we're going to do, sometimes this works better a little elevated. So if you happen to have a block, you could stand on it like this, but it's not necessary, okay? You don't have to. And all we're going to be doing is taking this outer leg. I'm going to show it without the block since a lot of people might not have one. And taking it out to the side without leaning. Okay, so just taking it straight out to the side. So let's inhale, stand tall, exhale out to the side. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, can bring it across your body without twisting. So my hips are forward. Good. Inhale, bring it back out. Exhale, I'm going back behind me. Inhale, bring it back out. Exhale, bring it across. Good. Inhale out. Exhale behind. Inhale out. Exhale across. Good. Inhale out. And now we're just going to stand down. Exhale, stand down. Okay, so you might have also felt, I know I did, a lot of stabilizing action from the standing leg hip too. All right, let's do the other side. So same thing, you could put your standing foot on a block, or you could do this on a step, anything like that too. Okay, so inhale, stand tall. Exhale, let's take that outside leg out without leaning in. Inhale, stand tall. Exhale, let's bring it across without twisting. Good. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, take it back. Inhale, bring it out. Exhale, bring it across. Inhale out. Exhale, back behind. Good. Inhale out. Exhale across, one more. Inhale out. Exhale behind. Inhale out. Exhale across. Good. Just inhale out. Exhale, stand down. And step side to side a little bit. Good. Maybe a swing and a twist. Just kind of letting everything go here. Good. Good. And then slowing it down. Now let's do one more balance pose. You can use the chair if you want to, but mainly just make it lower if you can't balance. It's also easier to balance on less soft things. So if you have a lot of trouble, you can walk to like a harder floor. All right, so you're gonna get yourself a focal point and inhale, stand tall. And exhale, can you practice softening your eyes? Good. And inhale, stand tall. And exhale, bring one of your legs up to tree pose. So you can turn it forward and then out, resting the foot on the calf or the ankle. In this one, you can put your toes on the floor so you get another point. Or it could even come up to the inner thigh above the knee. Now, you're going to avoid sitting into the hip like this. Okay, we're going to lift up, and your hands you could have one on the chair, or you could have your hands in front of your chest, and softening the eyes, softening your jaw. And you might feel some wobbling going on. It's okay. You can always come out and back in. Good. And then as you're ready, exhale to bring the knee forward if you can and step down. Good. You could turn around if you want the chair on your other side, or you can step into it. Inhale, stand tall, but we're going to soften the eyes first. So softening the eyes. Then inhale, stand tall, and exhale, bring your other knee forward and then out, and you can rest it on the ankle, calf, can come up high to the inner thigh if you want. Just really stay lifted out of that bottom leg hip, up through your center. Your hands can be here, or they could go up if you want to. Softening the eyes and breathing. Good, and then when you're ready to come down, see if you can bring the knee forward and stepping it down. And just step a little side to side, shaking out your legs a bit. Good. We're going to come all the way down to the floor. If you know you want to use your chair to put your legs over the chair, you can set that up for yourself today, or legs up the wall, like I think we did that last week. Okay. Or you can just come all the way down to the floor and get your props set up for yourself. So there might be a pose that you want to do before you go into a resting pose. For example, any other twisting, or you might like knees to chest, or anything else. Okay, so feel free to do that. And then when you get down onto your back to rest, I'm just putting this rolled up mat below my thighs, feels good. And then move your shoulder blades down your back. Maybe take a sigh or two. So that long exhale, as I mentioned, tends to downregulate the nervous system. And last week, I think we worked on some other breath that helps with the nervous system and sound downregulation with the sound of VU and the humming. Right, so you can always practice those as well. And there are short videos in our video library that are just about those sounds and breaths. So you can always, check in there too. For me, what I'm going to do, because I know it works for me, is I'm just going to rest my hands on my belly to feel a gentle rise on the inhale of my belly and fall. And I'm going to do one round of humming. You might find You want to change the position of your arms or legs at any time, go for it. And feel for letting go of as much effort as you can. Noticing your hands, softening your hands and your wrists. Softening your tongue and your jaw. Your ankles, your feet. And feeling as though you could almost sink into the surface below you, as though it were a very soft, comfortable place. And before you move, and you can stay here as long as you'd like, but before you move, just noticing how you feel right now. There may be a change from your yoga practice. There's likely some sort of change, whether it's physical or your energy level, or it might even be mental and emotional. And notice any change, even if it's a small change. And then you might breathe into every cell of your body, just a sense of how you want to feel for the rest of your day. And I thank you for joining me today, and I'll see you next time.